when it started about, you were here, I don't know, a few weeks ago when I asked you to help with You're the Wine.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit more. And you were playing some songs of yours, some of your early stuff, and you know, and I, you know, we've known each other now like five years. Yeah. So I mean, I've heard your material and your records, and certainly a fan of your songwriting. But that was kind of the first time I ever just sort of got a quiet. There's no noise. Yeah. You know, I mean,
and those have been reworked, and because those are going into the studio, so those are as polished as they're gonna.
Right. Yeah. You were doing them. They were solo. It was quiet. I could hear, and you were at the top of your game with them.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean, that's so much different
than the first draft of a tune,
or like in my case, where I play in a couple of different kinds of bands, and it's the recording or the presentation is different. If I'm playing with a 6-piece, man, and we're doing honky tonks, well, no, man, I'm hitting you in the face. Yeah. It's just boom, have it, keep having it, you know, and it's and subtle dynamics in there is okay, man. You know, the drummer Dale softened the drum beat a little bit for this one part, but it's, you know, I mean, you can't really windicate it very much. But I had not noticed, and this boy, goddamn, took me a long time to make this point. But what I started out trying to say, I realized when I was listening to that stuff, me and you we have a couple of really strong writing traits in common. You're an image guy, and so am I.
Yeah.
And I sometimes, you know, and there's story guys I really like. Yeah. But, you know, I like to put the images out there, and I underwrite. You know, I'm not trying to say something with a bunch of words. I want to use the fewest amount of words possible.
Yeah, broad brush.
Well,
job done.
Just my opinion is it doesn't clutter it up.
Sure.
And that's kind of technical, but it leaves my audience space to fill those blanks in for themselves. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, I was one time asked, we were mastering a record at Terra Nova Sound in Austin, and Jerry Tubb was checking out this song. He said, "Man, I like this. What's it about?" And it's about whatever you want it to be about. You know, but whatever you want it to be about, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
But specifically, a line you had about seeing that circus train.
Oh yeah.
Play a little. What's the name of that song? Play a little of it, would you please?
The song's called Circus Train. Yeah, and I think you like the second chorus. I think so. Cool. News the next morning said the circus came to town. They're putting up the big time, loading all the lines. Yeah, I spied the engineer, and I thought he'd recognize me as a shadowed man standing with the trees. New ocean rolled by, new long silver line. Yeah, I learned the greatest show on earth travels 2 rails at a time. And I saw the circus train.
Yeah, man, that's great. I mean, you know, and again, it's that playing with images thing where, I'm listening to you sing that, and I can see that fucking train.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I can see it, and the big painted boxcars and all that. Yeah.
It's a real treat. It's a real treat when a song like that falls in your lap, because I did see the Barnum and Bailey train, but then you gotta write some kind of story around it.
Right.
But a lot of the imagery is what I actually saw, and man, that's
right.
Nice.
You gotta put something around describing the train.
Yeah.
You know. No, that was good. And
I appreciate
I had written this is well, you know this one because you wrote a verse to it. This was a song that I had started. I actually thought it was finished, and I went and did the scratch tracks with Ed Tree out in L.A. At the Treehouse. He's producing this, and the way he did the arrangement, it ended up needing another verse.
Right.
So I came back and I was, you know, yeah, man, I could get. And sometimes I can sit down and write something because I need to.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just can't.
How long had it been since you wrote the initial verses to this tune?
2 years.
Yeah, because that happens to me sometimes. It's like you sort of know it needs, or you know, maybe you don't know you need, but that puts songs away being like, well, I finished it at some point, and then too much time has gone by from when you initially wrote it that you can't really get back in there.
It's kind of hard to plug back in.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to put yourself back in that place.
Exactly.
And yeah, and that was sort of an issue. And so what I had written was this. I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll do the first verse, I guess.
Yeah.
Part of the chorus. Days to find the space that lies between us. Space that can feel so big, it makes you want to cry. Getting by on dreams and memories. But when I see you, you're the wine. And when we're together, you're the wine. And everything else fades away, just leave it all behind. Defying miles, defying time. When we're together, you're the wine. And I had one more verse, and it just kind of followed that. When I had to write that third verse, I was like, man, I'm not coming up with anything that doesn't sound like it got lifted off a goddamn Hallmark greeting card.
Yeah.
You know, and I am not always a big fan of the every line rhyme.
Sure.
I mean, it really starts to sound like, you know.
Well, that song's got something going on too, where you sort of have to write within a box a little bit because it's got that intro line,
Right.
and then it has the hook.
Right.
So it's like you're really only working with 2 or 3 lines.
Yeah, you got about 3 lines in there
so
for the verse.
It's tough to say what you want to say.
Yeah, but you came up with a pretty good thing once you play
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I don't remember
Right.
it by heart. But
Right.
but I did write it. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was dealing with it. So I sat with the tune for a little while, and then just the second line of this hit me, and then I built it all from there. So the first line was Billy's line to begin with.
Yeah, everyone starts with space. Days to find the space.
Exactly. Yeah. So days to find the space that lies between us. Sand through the glass to just slip in time. Tear down a door that will not open. Something sweeter than a sip of wine. Then your chorus.
When we're together, you're the wine. Everything else fades away. Just leave it all behind. 5 miles, 5 time. Together, you're the wine.
Yeah.
No, man, you wrote a good verse there.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So, and the reason that I'm doing this segment about songwriting is, you know, I've co-written a few things with people in the past, but it's never been anything that I really set out to do.
Yeah.
Or if it was something that I set out to do, what we came up with, sometimes it was good, but it was never anything I liked very much.
Mm-hmm.
I have a song, my fan base knows it. It's called Cheese Enchiladas,
I know that too.
and that's a fan favorite at the live honky tonk shows. And that started out to be a co-written thing with me and Kenny Welch. But man, I'd be lying if I said that was in my top 50. I mean, to me, that's one of those rote kind of thing. That I told a story and I put it in rhyming meter, and everything's got 6 or 8 or however many syllables, and it all ends on 4, and I mean that's kind of a timing exercise.
Yeah, not every tune has to be profound. You can have some fun ones in there.
Well, and being an image guy, that's sort of my preference is to kind of put an image out there that the listener can do whatever they want to with it. I mean, it can mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I know you're recording some new stuff. Why don't you play us a bit of one of them?
Yeah, let's
Tell us what you're gonna play.
let's do well, here we should probably take a break and then.
Is that what you